to Love in the Time of Hydra, the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. 10th anniversary podcast. We're coming at you a little early today to take a trip back to May 5th, 2015. See You Again was still the number one song, and Avengers Age of Ultron was the number one movie at the box office. Great time to plug our latest Patreon episode where we talked about Age of Ultron. Check it out. Former governor of Arkansas, Mike Huckabee, announced that he was seeking the Republican Party nomination, which makes me wonder, how are we going to handle the 2016 news cycle during our season 3 coverage? Can't wait to find out. Scientists announced the discovery of the EGS-Z S8-1, the oldest and most distant galaxy ever observed. Adele turned 27, Henry Cavill turned 32, John Rhys Davies turned 71, and old Loki himself, Richard E. Grant, turned 58. But of course, the most important thing that happened on May 5th, 10 years ago, was the debut of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 2 episode Scars on ABC. Hi, I'm Jamie Jirek. I'm here with my co-host, boyfriend, and level 2 Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. fan, Tony Paletta. Hi, Tony.
Hi, Jamie. Hi, everyone. Thanks for watching and listening. How's your jet lag, my dear?
It has not improved. We're running on no sleep, but that's okay. I think that just brings the energy higher. I'm really excited for the guest we have today. He's a first-timer. He's a writer. You might have seen his stuff in Slash Film or That Hashtag Show. Ben Silverio is here.
Hi. What's up?
Welcome.
Hey, Ben. How are you?
I'm good. I'm joining the no sleep gang because I haven't gone to bed yet.
Yeah. It's 10 a.m. here, which is like for normal people a very reasonable hour to be awake.
True.
We'll see how we do. Ben, before we get kind of into this episode we're talking about today, tell us a little bit about your history with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Were you watching it 10 years ago? Did you finish it? What was going on with you in this show?
Yeah, I was in it from the start. I was at New York Comic Con when they premiered the pilot, and
Yes.
I was hooked immediately. I stayed till the very end when most people dropped off. I was definitely watching it at this time. So I was at a point in my career where I wasn't getting TV screeners yet, but I was getting invited to movie screenings. So I kept seeing the movies out of order with the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. episodes.
Frustrating.
So I saw Age of Ultron 2 weeks before this episode dropped.
Oh.
So like having to go back and remember everything that happened and like trying to ignore stuff, it was always fun, especially during the Winter Soldier episode because I was just oh, okay.
What are they gonna do about that?
Yeah.
Oh no. Cool. And so you're obviously a Marvel fan. Revisiting this episode, was this the first time since it ended that you've watched any of it, or have you got visited since then?
This is the second time I've gone back and watched it since it aired. I forgot which phase. It might have been before Endgame, where I decided to do a complete rewatch of the MCU, including TV shows,
Yeah.
because I'm a maniac.
I love it.
That's good
I-
shit.
I did every show out at the time, and it was insane. All of my friends said I was insane, but I did it, and I'm glad. I don't know if I'll do it again because there's so much MCU now.
Respect. I've been thinking about that leading up to Secret Wars. Like, what am I gonna? Because I used to watch. Up until Endgame, I would watch all the movies again. And back then it would take 2 full days to do that. But now with the shows and stuff, you need a week.
Oh yeah.
So by shows I mean Disney Plus. I don't think I would squeeze Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. in there because we are watching it with Tony. And speaking of that, I want to shout out our chat. There are a couple people who are in the chat for the first time because we're up so early our time. People in other lands are able to catch it today. Shout out to Kayla, who's here, and a lot of other folks. We're so happy to have you. Tony has a bachelor party at the beach today, which is why I know, pretty cool. Although as someone who wants to spend today watching Star Wars, I'm also grateful that we ended up going early today. So a reminder that the 2-part finale episodes will be live on Monday, May 12th. but we still have time, so keep an eye out on the Instagram. You know how it goes. It's really exciting. Scars was written by Raphael Judkins and Lauren LaFranc, two names we've heard plenty by now. The episode was directed by Bobby Roth. This was his 5th and final episode. He got some good ones in. My favorite that he did was The Hub. Cool. Our main cast members are back. We're doing it. Ben, what are your general thoughts on this episode? Where does this land for you in the greater Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.? Is this a good one? Is this a mid one? How do you feel?
When I was rewatching it, I was just like, oh, this was one I really liked. Because, so many things were happening that I just loved. Like, for instance, I love the Koenigs.
Yeah.
I love it when they pop up. I was always a big fan of them. And so for them to open the episode with their playful banter was always fun. But, Edward James Olmos, oh my God. When they first cast him, I was just like, what is he going to do? and now we kind of, now we know what he's done. But the tie-in, at the time, I remember feeling like, oh, this show is really going all in on it's all connected stuff. So I really loved seamlessly going from the movie to the beginning of this episode. This was definitely a big landmark episode for me because I really love these Inhumans because they were really showcasing Asian and Asian American performers, which I was a big fan of and wasn't getting a ton of at the time,
I love that. That's a great answer. Tony, I have so many questions for you about this one, but just before we get deep into it, what were your general thoughts on this episode?
I liked it. It's good. It's a really good episode. As you had kind of told me a couple of episodes ago, that shit's just about to set off and keep rolling until it closes out the season. And definitely feel like we're in the pocket, in the heat of it. A really good episode for hating Ward. A really good episode for loving Coulson. This is the best, just kind of true blue. Why I love Coulson episodes we've had in a while. And the double cross of the very chill people in the very chill place really, oh man, because I don't know, I kind of believed him for a little while. We're gonna talk about it, but I liked it.
It's a nuanced thing. It's there's a lot to talk about, and when it comes to Inhumans versus real Shield Index stuff,
I want to talk about it.
Of course, and that's why we have this podcast. That is what we're going to talk about. Believe it or not,
I'll be able to talk about it here.
I'm going to allow that today.
Surprise!
Okay, cool. Wow.
I love this episode. I was shook the first time I watched it because I think they do a really good job, good bait and switch stuff here.
They do,
and it is shocking. And there's just a lot of cool seeds planted in general, and again, like I've been saying, it's cooking now. We only have 2 episodes left, but the fact that they aired together, it feels like we only have 1 episode left. So there's a lot to think about there. The episode starts off, as Ben said, with Patton Oswalt. I believe it's Sam. We see it with his Star Wars sheets. If you're listening live, it is Star Wars Day. May the 4th be with you. Oh, nice shirt, Tony. Coulson shows up, and then we see that it's a flashback. I really like here how they drop that it's a flashback kind of late. Were you surprised by that, Tony?
Wait, drop. Oh yeah. It was, but it was nicely timed. It's like a lot's changed in a year, but also, there was more going on than just showing us the helicarrier, the Theta Project. Is that what they were calling it?
Theta Protocol.
Theta Protocol. It showed us that Coulson cared about Gonzalez. It showed us that it put him in that caretaker zone. And Koenig's asking about everybody, and he's, it's it was a nice check-in with where we are now because so much has changed in their playing field. So I liked it a lot.
When they mentioned Trip, oh, my heart.
Dude, that's another one. Yeah. He's full time now.
It's so sad. Ben, how do you feel about an adult man having Star Wars sheets?
I have dragons on my sheets
Yeah.
currently on my bed, so I'm in favor of it. Big
I
fan.
knew that you were going to be pro. I still have the Darth Vader comforter I had in high school. It's not on Tony in my bed, but it is on the guest bed. So
Yes, it is.
I do have great respect for adults with fun sheets because why not? You know.
What?
Um,
I bought these Skull and Crossbones bed sheets from Ross, and the lady behind me in line gave me a look, and she was just like, "Oh, is that for like your niece or nephew?" I'm like, "No, these are for me."
They're from mind your own business.
how dare
Exactly.
you?
How
Yeah.
dare you?
uh, Tony, this was something that Brett and Steve and I had talked a lot about before we recorded our Age of Ultron episode, and Sari and I talked a little bit about it last week, which is like the choice that we don't see the helicarriers until after Age of Ultron, I'm sure it was because they wanted the helicarriers to be a surprise for the general audience,
Yeah.
obviously, but how do you feel about this whole time Theta Protocol is the freaking helicarriers that
The
show up in
helicarriers
Ultron?
that
How do you feel
rescued
about this?
everybody in
Yeah.
Ultron. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel good. That's how I feel. I feel like when we've been playing this game of like Shield or Real Shield with Gonzalez and Coulson, and then Coulson gets that satisfactory moment of just like, oh yeah, here's Nick Fury. He's on the phone. Wants to talk to you. See you later. Like I'm just like, oh yes, this is what I love. And so this is just an extension of that for me. It's yeah, he is in charge. He is the boss. He knew he was the boss. He at no point was it ever in conflict for him. Which is also why I'm so proud of him later in this episode when he still submits himself to a committee and has a democratic discourse with the people. And like, I don't know, I'm gushing over Coulson this episode.
Good, I love that. How did it feel to hear the words Ultron come out of Edward James Olmos's mouth?
Funny. It was fun. It was funny to hear Tony Stark, and it was funny to hear Ultron.
Yeah.
You know, his mentioning of Tony Stark had the gears moving because Gonzalez, had some questionable choices in his time on the show, but I think he's right about Tony Stark. Even
Oh, right.
Banner didn't pause when they brought
Yes.
up the Ultron project. He charmed his way into doing it until it all hit the fan, as we saw in the movie.
Yeah, he was definitely in the same boat as, Cap and Thor and Rhodey of like, what the hell have you done? Like, you were wrong for this. And then also would have been in that same company as he tried to do it again to create Vision. So can't blame him for that.
Yeah. With the Inhuman stuff, Lincoln wakes up and he's mad that he's a shield, understandably. Meanwhile, Afterlife, I just wrote my note. Raina telling people what's up.
Good note taking.
Thank you. And then she says she sees this stone, this Kree stone that could destroy them. Then Raina and Gordon go on the boat. It's here. Ben, it's hard to talk about this item with Tony in the room, but I will say this. Were you prepared to see that item this episode? Did you remember that you'd be seeing that today?
That's tough because having seen the whole show, it's just that item is a huge part of the show, right? But I just remember the things that really stood out to me at the time, I think, were the double heel turn, Edward James Olmos, and the Ultron tie-in. So there's so many heavy hitting things in this episode that I think I forgot about this item until I saw it again, and I'm just like, oh right, this is when this starts.
My brain had me thinking it was coming in the final episode this season. So even though it doesn't matter how many times I've seen it, I'm like, sometimes like you said, you mix it up in your brain. Tony, I know that you have no idea what it is, and I'm sure you don't want to guess, right?
I mean, my impression of that item is that it's basically, we've probably seen the last of it. I don't think it's going to bear any significance in upcoming episodes or the future of the show. It doesn't seem like something that's going to have any significance. It's not going to have any legs over the
Yeah.
series based on your guys' commentary. I don't know. It melted and turned into water and then reassembled itself. Honestly, it was kind of Lynchian. Wasn't that like a really, you know what I mean? Like the glass
I love that.
box, the liquid, just the returning to form and just the creepy wrongness of it. Like that's kind of the whole thing. Made me
You're
think
so
of David.
right. I
Yeah.
wonder if 10 years ago Kyle had that thought. When
I
he
wonder
was
if Kyle had that
sitting-
thought.
Who knows?
But
I want to shout out just Hunter drawing Raina's face, Mikey.
Yes, I put that in my notes also.
Yes.
I think it's her.
Yeah, Ben, how do you feel about just Raina in general at this point?
Oh, so manipulative. Just a master manipulator. Oh man, like her arc from when we first see her to now is, and then the way Cal describes her, I'm just like, man, what a downright dirty heel.
Mhm. I was very surprised how quickly they ended up on the boat because they were like, with our powers combined, we could find the rock I'm dreaming about. And then I was like, okay, so we're gonna spend some time figuring out how to. Oh, nope, there they are. Like they were just there on the boat, and which I was like, great, let's get right to the action. That didn't bother me. What did bother me was they had like a really casual walk and talk while they were doing a stealth mission. There's like the two of them being like, sometimes, and it's like, yeah, I know it can be hard, and it's just like you guys are on a secret mission on a carrier, like you guys need to be doing some creeping and some hiding in corners, and then they were like, freeze, and I was like, well, yeah, you're doing a casual walk and talk on a boat.
That's fair.
Hey, when you can bamf in and out of places, it's all casual.
You make a good point. They can't bamf.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter. Coulson and Skye have like kind of a debrief and huge moment. We actually hear Inhumans. She actually says Inhumans. In a this wasn't technically the first time we heard it, but it was the first time it just like was like an official, this is the name. Ben, do you remember at the time the whole like we can't use X-Men, so we're gonna make Inhumans happen? Were you in the thick of it then?
Yeah, I was actually reading a lot of Marvel comics at the time also. So having the Inhumans prioritized over a lot of other people was kind of frustrating for me because I was never really an Inhumans person. Obviously, given my age and demographic, X-Men the Animated Series was my entryway kind of into all of this.
Yes.
So obviously I had a soft spot for the X-Men. And then as I got older, the Avengers were my team, specifically the Young Avengers. So for the Inhumans to really like take center stage like this was very foreign to me. And I was kind of interested in a way, but cautiously optimistic, I think would be the way that I'd put it.
Fair. They're all meeting about, Gonzalez wants to be the one to go to Afterlife. This is the whole thing. Okay, chat, I need your help. Again, I can't stress enough how many times I've seen this. I've seen this at least 10 times. The last time I watched it was I think pandemic, so it's been a minute. Who's the man with the beard? This guy with this huge beard. He's like Rikering from like Next Gen, and like he's like part of the real Shield group. But I feel like I have not seen this man before, and he's like in the inner circle all of a sudden. Like, who is this? Ben and Tony? Did you? Yeah, you didn't even clock him, Tony. He was like literally in the meetings, and he's like offering up suggestions. The man has lines.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He's in that sequence.
Yeah. I'm like, who is this bearded man? I feel like I haven't seen it before. Is it just that he grew a beard?
We've seen, we had the black woman, and then we had that the Latino dude who got fucked up when they went to go capture Skye.
Yeah.
But now you're saying there's like another guy that's like in that kind of
guy
with a beard.
So far, no one in the chat is helping me, so let's put a pin in it. I can and continue on. Let's see. According to Elizabeth, it's Agent Oliver. Phil says, good question. Just a Shield guy. Never really thought about who he is. It's just like his beard is so prominent. I'm like, he's taking up a lot of my eye space, and I don't know his name, and I've seen this 10 times. That's like,
you're like, based on this guy's beard, he's a character of great status, and so why have we not been introduced to him sooner?
Yeah. But okay. All right. Ben, we've talked a little bit about like kind of the unfair treatment of Kara. How do you feel about them deciding to lock her up, even though she was Hydra brainwashed?
There's been a lot of brainwashing in the MCU, and I feel like everyone gets treated so differently when it's like kind of the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that Kara is so connected to Grant Ward makes me kind of not want to give her the same grace that I would give the Winter Soldier, you know?
Yeah.
But that's kind of my bias, I think. Uh, I think it felt right considering the situation. I don't
Mhm.
know. It's a tough call, but I mean, by the end of the episode,
Yeah,
was it the right call? You know?
that's true. Tony, did you have any thoughts?
I just thought that it was nice of them to not have her in handcuffs when they were, treating her for everything and like fixing her brain. And I was like, oh, that's cool. They could have been meaner about that. And then they were like, they're locking her up, and I was like, yeah, yeah.
Okay,
It's the ward of it all. It's like
Mhm.
that guy's a snake, and that's the snake's personal assistant. Like, yeah, I would probably do the same thing.
we get this really great May and Coulson scene where Coulson's like, "Time to apologize." Of course, we have a shout out to the bus, R.I.P.
Mm.
May misses her plane. I do like that. Coulson's like, "Yeah, stuff happened on that plane."
Yeah, missed the bus.
I know.
I cried out for the bus.
Yeah, yes. Do you, Ben? Do you have like a love for the bus?
Oh, of
Were you so
course.
sad? I know.
I that what a cool plane.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's just like there are so many iconic vehicles in comic books, but like the bus was just so fun. It's
yeah.
like, hey, we're going on a road trip.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is, and it
Um,
felt there was a lot of warmth and
Hmm.
like that was in that bus. And aside from, I mean, didn't Colson say, man, a lot of terrible things happened on that bus? It's like, yeah,
Right.
that's true, but it was also a really nice party. Like,
mhm. Tony, how do you feel about May telling Coulson what she did in Bahrain?
I felt, I mean, it felt valid. Like Sky kind of teed it up. It had to be talked about.
Mm,
Just
yeah.
very straightforward. I like that. I really love Ming Na Wen in the show, and that's just a good acting moment because um, it's a thing that's difficult for her to talk about, but she's no longer ashamed. Like she knows the choice she made, and she's kind of come to terms with the reality that there was no alternative. It was them, more people are going to die, or I do this thing. So like, I just like that it wasn't a weepy moment. It wasn't her looking for solace or forgiveness moment. She's crested that, and it was
Mhm.
just a very straightforward conversation. I appreciated it.
Defrosted Robot in the comments is like, it's a bit of a blow from Sky. Yeah, I wrote my notes down. Like,
Yep.
I'd
right?
forgotten how few people knew the
Mhm.
truth of that story. So it was only after the fact when she was like, "I only told my husband" or whatever. I was like, "God, Sky, you just outed that. That's not nice."
Mhm.
Hmm.
Do you have feelings about that, Ben?
Oh man, May really took the brunt of a lot of strays in this episode. Like I felt so bad for her having to like deal with all of that stuff with Sky. In my notes later on I called May Shield Mom.
Yeah.
Poor Shield Mom, like
Yeah,
because of the way that Sky is treating her, but
Mhm.
like what other choice did May have?
yeah,
Like it's a tough call.
I
most
literally
definitely.
also wrote mom in my notes for a later moment.
Mhm.
So she's mom and hard in this one. It's time for Fitzsimmons check-in. A really cute scene where, not cute. It's a rare not cute scene, where they're talking about Ward, and Fitz thinks that Gemma couldn't go through with it, and she admits that she failed, and she like Tony. We've been a little worried about Gemma. How are you feeling right now about her actions?
I feel a little better just knowing that her and Fitz are on better terms. I think that they help each other in every way that a person can be alive. I think that's how they are. So I need them to continue to develop that, because then I won't be scared for Gemma. If Gemma's on an island, she's creeping me out, to be honest. So let's get that Fitz assist in there, because she makes me nervous.
Interesting. Ben, this is a good time to ask you, up until this point, in the end of season 2, do you have a favorite character?
I mean, I love Coulson,
Mhm.
but the way that Ming-Na Wen's like filmography kind of like grew with me, like obviously she was Mulan, and now that she's Agent May, like I just loved seeing her evolution, not only as a performer but like the characters that I was finding as I was growing. So I think my favorite character, definitely at this time, was May. So to see how she was treated in this episode, I was just like, damn.
How dare you? How dare you?
Yeah, right.
Matt quit. Are you gonna miss him, Tony?
Yes, that was a beautiful scene. It hurt Coulson's heart, man. He kept it straight, but you could tell, man, that burned him. That really burned him, and it burned me too. And it was like, I think it was this scene, and then the scene with May, where it's like, May's like, I was going to put you down if you ever lost control. And he said, I never lost control. And then Max says a very similar thing of like, and Coulson's like, I'm in complete control of my decisions and my faculties, or whatever it is. Like, this is like me being Team Coulson in the back, just like, yes, this guy, he knows what's up. So yeah, it sucks, but like, I thought that it was I liked how respectful it was between the two of them,
It's time to talk about a complicated matter. And Ben, I'm going to throw it to you first. Okay. And it's kind of this Inhumans versus the Index, because we understand where Jiaying is coming from. Like when she's like, I've been around enough to see what happens when you put people on a list, and you can't argue that she's right. But like also her response is murder, and that's bad. And so before that. But cutting off pre-murdering Ben, where do you stand? I feel like this is like a Sokovia Accords thing. I feel like I understand falling on either side.
Yeah, I do see. I hate to say it, but I do see both sides, and I understand where they're both coming from. But I mean, I kind of have to. Oh man, I think I'm with Steve Rogers on these matters. It's like, yeah, kind of where Jiaying's coming from, except not like murdery. It's just like we've seen this happen time and time again. And it if we don't learn from history, then we're gonna keep repeating it. Maybe don't murder the people that are keeping the list, but just be ready to hold them accountable.
Tony, how do you feel about this whole rigmarole?
Yeah, I think it's like, I agree. The list historically bad. I mean, being on the list is historically bad. So yeah, I'm definitely anti-list. And the first thing that came to my mind as this episode was firing off, and Skye was kind of reintegrating with S.H.I.E.L.D. after her experience. I'm like, she's the perfect liaison. Like, just make her the liaison. Fuck the list. You have this inhuman S.H.I.E.L.D. agent liaison, and Coulson said it. Like, that's our person. I would start there, and then take a step back, and try and create some sort of relationship through that liaison before even pretending to that you can be effective beyond that, or that you can be trusted beyond that. That's like, that would just be Skye's new job. Like, I would put her in the room with Gonzalez and Coulson and everybody. Like, you are now this function. So yeah, for Gonzalez to roll in there, and he did it with the best intentions, but he's been really punchy this whole season. So I don't know. I'm not surprised it didn't work out, but I'm glad it wasn't Coulson in that room.
Sure.
Well, true. Okay, so we're gonna get into the showdown here in a minute. First, though, it's time for a little 30-second break. Honestly, if it's 10:30 a.m., it's Sunday. You can be refilling your drinks. It's brunch time.
Have some coffee.
Yeah, but do your thing. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Love in the Time of Hydra. We're here with our friend Ben talking scars. Ben, okay, the Kara pretending to be May. I forgot. I knew that it was going to lead to Bobby being in the hands of Karen Ward, but I forgot that was them with Kara. Did you remember? Were you like?
I did not remember. They totally got me.
Yeah.
I was just like, that's not May.
Which is crazy that we both fell for it despite knowing we'd seen it. So Tony, I'm sure you didn't see it coming.
I didn't see it coming. Absolutely not. I also was like, but I was also a little confused because we have like 3 different parties heading to the same place. And I was like, how is May accounted for on one vessel, but is knowingly present on another? Like that threw me off. I was like, I wanted to like rewind it and watch how they started setting out on their mission in order to understand the logistics of that, but it didn't really matter. It's just like, oh shit, we're in trouble now. And boy, are we. Fuck Ward. God.
Literally, my notes say fucking Ward.
Correct. Oh, and then I think you for a second thought that he killed Bobby.
I did. Bobby got shot, and I was like, there's no way. And then I was like, oh yeah, the night nights. I was like, that makes more sense. Are we on the cusp of talking about Raina being a what I thought was a goddamn liar when she came running up?
Yes, because I wrote in my notes they kind of stop Raina from whatever coup she might be attempting, and Tony goes, yeah. And in my head, I'm like, I don't know.
Well, I was so proud of myself when she came trotting up to Gordon, being like, "I had a premonition. Oh, the agents of Shield of fire in the sky are raining down on us." I'm like, "You were a liar." And then when they all confronted her, I was like, "That's what I thought." And I was like, I was so proud of everybody. I was so proud of everybody on that on the Afterlife team, and then now I hate them.
In our we call that pulling a Stannis. We call that because back in season 5 of Game of Thrones, my friend Becca turned to me and said, "God, I love Stannis," and 5 minutes later he burned his daughter alive. So we call these mistakes pulling a Stannis.
Yeah.
Ben, I love this, that like we've been taught to mistrust Raina for so long that they got us a little bit. How do you feel about this from just like a writing standpoint?
I mean, the way that they got me, I can't fault them for it, because it's just like, maybe it's because I suspend disbelief a little bit more than some people, but it's just like they got me for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, yeah, no, she's conniving, and she's everything Cal said she was. And it's great. Like, the performance elevates the work as well. I think, she does a great job of playing this character, and it's like, I want to believe that people are inherently good, right? But if she keeps doing this,
you have 4 more chances, Raina. Okay, and after that, we're gonna say we don't trust you altogether.
I love calling out Ruth's performance though, because like I see her in this makeup and I'm like, and like she looks crazy and ridiculous by like normal people standards, not by like Marvel standards, and I'm like, that's an Oscar nominee. We're watching someone who's going to be nominated for an Oscar, or at this, what was Loving?
It's like the following year.
Yeah. So huge time. Ruth, just fucking great. Tony, before, as we were leading into the showdown, were you like nervous at all? Did you think was gonna? Did you have like, oh shit's gonna go down?
But like, you're talking about the meet. Yeah, I thought shit was gonna go down. I mean, we've got not Agent May over here, and we've revealed Ward, and Raina's a liar, and she's going to do some like. When they outed Raina, I was like, oh, good. Then at least we can have some kind of meeting here. That turned out to not go well. But I was definitely nervous. There was definitely a lot of suspense here.
Mm-hmm. Ben, what are your thoughts on this gift that Gonzalez gives Jiaying?
Oh man, like I did mention before that that Gonzalez has made questionable choices throughout his time with Shield, quote unquote Shield, but like that was a really sweet gesture, like for him to pull out something like that, because it's like once he establishes that he's going to be the one going to the meeting. It's like, oh, I'm preparing for the worst.
Yep.
And to see that he actually means well, he's doing this with an open mind and an open heart and all this stuff. So to see him be vulnerable like that, I really liked. And of course, with Edward James Olmos playing the character, you gotta expect
Gravitas.
that.
Mhm.
And he nailed it. Even up to the final moments we see Gonzalez, he is nailing it.
I love that as the Terrigenesis is as the mist is getting him, killing him. I love that the last words out of her mouth are was basically "You're a crazy bitch."
Yeah.
That's pretty much his final words.
Yeah. Well, I want to say though, we see him get handed the box, the Chinese jewelry, and it's like, oh, here's your insurance policy, sir. Like kind of off to the side, like secretly before he gets on the plane. He's like, oh, good, this will work, and he puts it in his coat pocket. And I'm like, whoa, what do you bring into the meeting, man? I don't trust this. I don't like. So they set it up like it was like his insurance policy was going to be something bad, and it was something really sweet and conscientious, and just so that adds a layer to it that I really liked.
And we kind of talked about it already in terms of is she, I wrote my note, she ain't wrong, and it's a bummer. It's kind of like that Saw Gerrera thing, where your greater idea is good, but maybe you've gone off the deep end a little bit.
You're a little fucking crazy, Saw Gerrera.
I want to see Giant and Saw Gerrera in a room together.
Oh no.
I also want to shout out Deechin. The world has gotten to know Deechin recently because of Severance. But 10 years ago we were getting to watch her performance in this episode, and I love it. I love the way Deechin plays this character because she's playing someone much older than herself, right? And it's believable. I believe that she could be Sky's mom, even though in reality she's only a few years older than Chloe Bennett. Ben, are you a Severance guy? Have you been following this Deechin journey?
So I watched season 1, and I have not caught up on season 2 yet. I've just been super busy.
Ooh,
but I
okay.
have heard so many good things, and I cannot wait to see more of her in season 2 when I finally get a chance to watch it.
The chat is bringing up Dollhouse, which we're going to cover on our Patreon this summer. Have you seen Dollhouse?
No, I haven't.
Sounds like you got to start Dollhouse, and then you can come back on.
Yeah, Patreon.
Yeah, you got again. Tony, any other thoughts, just specifically about the Giant Gonzalez scene?
It's just I knew when it was turning Jiaying Deechin Lockman just twisted the knob of her performance, and I was like, uh-oh, bad. As soon as she started being like, I want to show you something, I was like, oh, fuck. And then, I knew then, which I like moments like that where an actor is telegraphing something in a way that it makes it, that serves the scene. You typically don't want actors telegraphing what they're thinking or doing, but in that instance, this was a sort of a sweet revenge moment for her. And I was so mad she came stumbling out of there all bloody after shooting herself, saying, "S.H.I.E.L.D. tried to kill me." Yeah. And now Chloe's mad, and I'm just like, I'm so upset.
On one hand, with May being Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month, I want to root for the Asian American woman, trying her best to keep her community together. But damn, what a turn of events,
Yeah, that's not that was it was interesting when Cal was like, here's what we should do. We should burn down their helicopters and destroy them. And, for a start, let's do that. And she was like, oh, Cal. So I really do. And now I'm like, no, that's kind of exactly her plan, I guess, because she started a war, as she said in the end, this is a war. She started it in a very cowardly way. And so I'm I guess she does see this as time for the Inhumans to rule,
You can never be truly prepared for what people are capable of, was the line that she says.
Mm-hmm.
And revisiting this episode all these years later, I'm just like, oh, she told us. She showed us her hand.
Yeah.
100%. Tony, you brought up Cal. What do you feel about the Cal of it all? Him offering himself up.
Did we show what was in those vials that he was carrying yet? No, god damn it.
We've never. They've hinted at it for many episodes, but we've not really seen what it does.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'm anxious about it. I love Kyle MacLachlan because he's on that helicopter going. He's just like what are these? He's like, oh, I don't know. Like he's just being an evil fuck and like he's crushing it so much. Yeah, he's not his accepting the terms of his capture obviously is bullshit, and now he's exactly where he wants to be based on some plan with Jia Ying, and I'm concerned. We need to finish this show.
Yeah. Ben, do you have any spare Cal thoughts to throw out there?
I have something under my spoilers section.
Oh, great.
So
Okay. Well, we're getting there soon. Beautiful. So before we wrap up this, I do want to bring up May because I wrote in my notes, like Ben said, she's giving kind of jealous mom, but not in really even a negative way. Like when basically May was like, Coulson couldn't go in because he's biased when it comes to you, and Sky's like, well, it could have been you. And May was like, no, I'm also biased. And they have a history. She was her SO. She technically still is. And I love when she's like, I hope your mother is everything you want her to be. Because it's like, I was trying to be your mom, but you just had to run off. Tony, how do you feel about that dynamic and how it's evolved?
It's lovely. Like, yeah, I appreciate. I have to talk about the Coulson of it again, though. Is just that I really, really respect that Coulson gave himself the opportunity, gave everyone the opportunity to tell him no. Like he could have said yes, he could have strong-armed his way into that meeting because of his love for Sky and because of his consideration for the mission itself. The fact that he submitted to a committee is like, this is why he's the man. This is why he's the best. And he trusts the people around him. And, May, for that same reason, is just like, if Coulson can bow out of that, so can she, because they are both so hyper protective of Sky, and they both are paternal towards her. So it was lovely. I like that about them.
Ben, anything to add on that subject?
You absolutely nailed it. Like that's exactly how I was feeling about this moment. I'm just like, oh, May, like heartbreaking for her. Cause like, even though she always has this hard exterior, like showing a little bit of that soft nougaty center, it's like where we want to be,
More May nougat.
Exactly. She's not the cavalry all the time.
Yeah.
True. Ben, we get this post-credit scene, which is Warden Kara kind of, dealing with Bobby. How do you feel about the fact that like, whoa, we have 2 episodes left and there's this whole weird side plot going on where Bobby is now kidnapped? How do you stand on what's happening here?
So the one note that I wrote about this scene was Brett Dalton channeling Bruce Willis from Pulp Fiction. Like it's giving a bit of that, right? But
I don't know. I need more.
Yeah, sure. I mean, like it just seemed like the way he was talking to Kara, it just like it was giving Zed's dead, baby. Zed's dead.
Oh, dismissiveness where it's like, go get your blueberry pancakes. I'm
okay.
Like, I can see what you mean by that. I think that he's a better boyfriend than Ward in Pulp Fiction. Like at least he goes down on his lady. I don't think
that's a good point. I don't think Ward does that.
Yeah.
I don't think Ward does that. Yeah, Ward's a fucking chump and would never.
No, never. But Bobby, like I love Bobby. Like I love Adrian Palicki. I'm a big fan of the Orville. So like I like watching things that she's in, but like seeing Bobby go through all this, like, oh, she should have permission to just start kicking dicks. Like she's been through so much already, and now this.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know?
She's been like sidelined in this storyline, but in a way that's not like a critique of the writing. She's literally just kind of been handicapped by the division of the team, and now she's kidnapped. And I wouldn't mind a kick-dicking marathon. Yeah.
Mhm.
I do have to tell Ben and tell the audience that when Kara was like, it was hard being away from you, Tony laughed. Like Tony just like he couldn't contain himself.
It was hard being away from you. It wasn't hard for me. I actually enjoyed being away from you, Ward. So maybe fuck off again. But yeah, they're so gross. It's like not. This isn't a critique of their performances or the writing. It's exactly where it needs to be. They are so gross.
Mhm. That's a great way to put it. Ben, before we move on to a little history and kick Tony out, was there anything about the episode that we didn't say or mention that you wanted to throw out there?
I think that about covers it. What else do I have in my notes? More Koenig love.
Yeah.
You know,
Where are the Koenigs? Because like we haven't seen them in a while, right? Like what's going on there? Where are
right? They're playing Call of Duty.
they?
Yeah.
Tony, what about you? Anything else?
There's just that we got a very classic line from Edward James Olmos when Coulson was like, "Care to elaborate?" And he's like, "You're too close to this case." And I'm like, that's like right out of the playbook, and it made me
You
chuckle.
I
laughed at
have
that
to get
too.
through to these kids.
Have to get through to these keys. Yes, fantastic. No, that's it. That's all my business.
Cool. Ben, we like to each name our own episode MVP. This can be anything from a character to an actor to a potted plant. There's no rules. I'll give you a second to think about it, and I'll have Tony give his answer first.
Okay.
Coulson. It's a Coulson episode.
Mm-hmm. Fair. I'm gonna give it to Gonzalez because I like that in his final moments we really see his true self, that he is a good man, and I love Edward James almost. One day, Tony, we're gonna do BSG, and because for me, like I know he's been around a long time, and there's so many great performances for him, but for me, like it begins and ends with BSG. So I just love him so much. Ben, was that significant? Did you think of a time? Did you think of a person?
Oh man. I really want to say the Koenigs, but my real answer is Jai Ying.
Oh,
Because of
awesome! Yes.
Oh,
like
1, 2, 3.
the way she handles that turn is just
Mhm.
like masterful.
Mhm.
Like a great character development moment, and it's just like heartbreaking for someone who wants to see her and her community succeed, but it's just like, man, you're doing it all wrong. So it's like,
Yeah.
oh, but the performance was so good.
Mhm.
You've
Mhm.
got people agreeing with you in the comments. We have a couple votes for Deachin, which is great. Love it. Not too much to say about the behind the scenes, but Jeffrey Bell did talk about just tying in with Age of Ultron. And I thought it was an interesting quote. He said, "Our stories have to stand on their own. We're not getting blown up like we were last year with Hydra and Captain America, but some elements or some things from the movie do affect some of the relationships in our episodes moving forward in an interesting and constructive manner." Very pre-planned answer. I wasn't interviewing Shield people until the last couple seasons, but whenever you ask about tying in with the greater MCU, that what can they say?
Yeah.
I was just watching a Haley Steinfeld interview where it's like there's nothing she can say. Is she going to be in Doomsday? Fucking probably, but how, I don't know what to say about it.
In preparation for the podcast, I was looking back to see what I was doing 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And I was preparing for Wizard World Philadelphia, where Haley Atwell was a guest. And she basically said that, like, oh, when is Agent Carter going to come back on to the movies and all that stuff? And, obviously the show was happening, but it's just like, oh, yeah, will we see Agent Carter in the movies again? And then here we are now, and we have seen her again, which is great.
Well, she's going to show up very soon because we're doing Ant-Man on our Patreon in July, and she's in the opening scene of that movie. So
yes,
they pop her in there wherever they can. Respect, girl, get that paycheck. Of course, we have our poster at the time. Ben, if you don't recall, there's a poster for each episode of this arc.
Oh yeah.
We've got this. This is from French illustrator and scriptwriter Marguerite Sauvage, I believe is how you say her name. I really love Jiang in this. I love it's like this kind of ethereal, like beautiful thing. I don't really like the little sky because I don't
Same.
think it looks like her.
Yeah, I love the Jiaying of it, but I don't.
Yeah.
But yeah, the featuring of the little sky bubble is not doing it for me, but still really pretty.
I really like the choice to put like to show her scars all over her body because we only really in the show have seen it on her face. I
Yeah.
think it's very a nice choice. I mean, the episode's called Scars, right? Ben,
Mhm.
do you remember these weekly posters? Did you have any of these?
I do. I remember seeing them on social media. I don't think I had any because all the ones that I remember seeing at cons were like the cast, promo like
Mhm.
images. But these were all gorgeous, and I loved how they were incorporating the comics into these shows by having these superstar artists do these great pieces.
Yeah, I'm excited for the next episode. That's very comic booky. But that's a little tease. We're about to kick Tony out. So before we do, in case anyone's leaving with Tony, Ben, do you want to just plug where the people can find you?
Sure, yeah. On Instagram, X, Blue Sky, I'm at bsilverio20. And you can find my work on that hashtag show /film and other random places across the internet. And I also host the podcast Time to Party. That's time the number two party, where we revisit time travel movies and see if they're still worth your time.
Fun.
Yeah, really fun. Tony, say goodbye.
Good, I will. I'm going to say some thank yous first, though, so don't boss me around. Thank you to Stephanie at Eclectic Muses on socials for doing our artwork. Thank you to Ryan Miera of Yellow Pills at Yellow Pills Music on Instagram for doing our music. And thank you to our producer, Maria. Thank you, producer Maria.
You're welcome.
And thank you, Ben. It was really fun having you on, man.
Thanks for having me. This was fun.
I want to send a reminder to everyone to follow us at Lido Pod on Instagram, Blue Sky, all those places, especially so you can find out what time our next episode is, and join our Patreon because it's only $1 a month, and we're about to have a rockin' summer. We're gonna finish Firefly. We're gonna start Dollhouse. Ant-Man's coming up this summer, so there's it's gonna be worth paying $1 a month. I'll just say that. But if you are leaving and don't want spoilers, get the fuck out.
Leaving the room. Gotta leave.
Bye, Tony. He's gone.
He's gone.
All right, Ben. I have a lot of notes on this one.
Okay.
But you had teased something earlier. What were you thinking?
Okay. So in regards to Cal, I put down the quote, "You're as bold as the day I met you," and like I was thinking about how their relationship plays out, and it's just like it's not relationship goals, but it's like kind of sweet.
Yeah.
Especially because I never thought that I would watch something that would make me care about Mr. Hyde. Like
Yeah.
he's such a like not a throwaway character in the comics, but like he's not a really known character, and Kyle MacLachlan fucking kills it with him, right? Like this version of Hyde is killer. Someone also asks like if it's muscle milk, and I'm just like, that is funny considering what it actually is.
Yeah.
So yeah, Cal is about to have some big moments. I'm very interested to see how Tony reacts to them.
What I love so much about this season is that they really set up like, oh, Sky's dad's the big bad, but it's really her mom, and then he gets a little happy ending, and it's like really nice. Like I think Tony's gonna love Cal's ending, and I'm probably gonna spoil the fact that we're never gonna see him again because like it's just like that bums me out, and I don't want Tony to spend the next 5 years waiting to see Kyle MacLachlan again.
Yeah. Oh man.
I know, but he will see Deacon again one more time though.
It's true.
So we're far away from that, but that is someone in the comments earlier, Ben, wondered how you feel about the later seasons. Are you in it for all of it? Do you like where the show goes?
I do. Due to the nature of my podcast, I do love time travel. So like once we get to that stuff, I'm all in on it. Especially when we get to see like, early Shield and things like that. But like the thing that I really like, I mean, like, not really like, but I appreciate. They stopped doing the direct tie-ins and they do more of thematic tie-ins,
Mhm.
which I think is very clever because then it lets them tell their own story while being loosely connected. I did get a tiny bit of that in this episode when they say that Gordon uses quantum entanglement.
Mhm.
So like that kind of teases Ant-Man a little bit without
I
us
didn't
really
even think
knowing
about
about it.
that. Like Ant-Man's on its way, and that's totally true.
Yeah.
Um, we Quantum came up last week though too. So I guess like, but I forgot that Ant-Man was so close.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't until last night that I was like, oh shit, because our Age of Ultron episode, it's been a long time since our Guardians, but now it's like, oh, 2 months we're back with another movie. So that's that's that we're in that zone, the lots of movie zones. Do you remember, Ben, going into my notes, when in the beginning of the episode when Koenig is looking at his socks and he picks the robot socks, how at the time everyone thought they were teasing that the Koenigs are LMDs. Do you remember
Yes.
this theory?
I
Yeah.
do.
I was hoping Tony would clock that, but he didn't.
Mm. Yeah, and I mean, like, how far away is the LMD stuff? That's
Season 4.
okay.
So we're close but far.
Yeah.
you know.
Speaking of
But
close but far, like the
mhm.
Inhuman series is like 2 years after this, right?
I think it's 2016. I could be wrong, but I never watched it. So that's something that we're
Oh
definitely
man.
gonna go through on our Patreon. I might have to drink for that one. Then maybe we'll turn it into a drinking game.
Yes,
But
definitely.
um, now this is more of a question for the chat. The facility that they're in the beginning, is that do we see that again in season 5? Those rooms, like it reminded me of some areas in season 5, and maybe I'm misremembering. So chat, let me know if I'm right or if I'm just speaking nonsense. Okay, we gotta talk about the monolith a
Oh
little,
yes.
because and the fact that Tony made that comment of I don't want to see Gemma on an island, which is kind of
Yep.
exactly what's going to happen on
Exactly
David.
what happens.
I couldn't believe he said that.
That's so funny.
Right? Mavis, though, I want to do something special for that episode. Like, I don't know what that means yet. It's coming up in I think October. But what a banger time.
Oh man, like just everything that is ahead of Fitzsimmons is
Mhm.
just oh my gosh. They go through so much on this damn show.
I know. Are you like a big shipper? Are
I
you
wouldn't
invested
say
in
a
that
big
romance?
shipper, but like I do love them together.
Mhm.
And I do think Fitz needs to get his monkey.
Yes. I have a Fitz monkey tattoo. I have when in the season 6 episode where Gemma hallucinates him in a monkey costume.
Yeah,
I have a tattoo of
that is incredible.
that.
Oh my god, you have so many cool tattoos.
I do like to tattoo things I like on my body. That is, thank you. That is true. When it came to that season 5 thing, people in the comments are saying probably not the same set, but agreeing that it looks similar. So I'll take that as a win. I also another thing Tony said that was right on the money is that Sky should be the liaison for the
Yeah.
Inhumans. That's exactly what she becomes.
Yes, exactly. And
Um,
she can still do a lot in the modern day MCU. I would love to see Daisy pop up somewhere again. If there are two characters that I would really love to see pop up again, Sky would be number 1,
mm,
but a very close second for me is Bobby.
fair.
Mockingbird
Mhm.
should be in Hawkeye.
Yeah.
Like, why doesn't she pop up in the next season? It's like
Mhm.
they could totally just give her batons and have her wail on people again. I
Well,
would
based
love
on
that.
that recent Jeremy Renner interview, I don't think we're
Right.
ever getting to season 2, or if they
Well,
are,
I think if they do a season 2, it'll be Kate centric.
yeah, 100%, 100%.
Yeah, because
Um,
like they did
uh,
tease that she's in California with Kamala.
mhm,
So I think there's some stuff to be tackled in that area.
agreed. Finally, I just want to tease, like, we're a week away. I'm so excited for Tony to see Mac cut off Coulson's hand. Like,
Oh my god,
I think he's gonna be like, fuck. Like, I think he's gonna really freak the fuck out because that's crazy. Like,
it's
what
so
a
nuts.
crazy thing. I know.
Oh, geez, like there was so much hand cutting in that phase.
What is it, Star Wars? Come
Yeah.
on. On that note, Ben, anything else? Any other spoiler, fun facts, anything you want to throw out there before we say goodbye?
Oh my god, I just want to say how much I miss this show.
I
Like it
know.
was great revisiting the MCU weekly, and we don't really get the same feeling on the Disney Plus shows.
Mhm.
I mean, yeah, now they started releasing them weekly, but like, occasionally I would like let one go so I could watch two the next week, but it's just like this gave me a reason to tune into my
Mm.
TV. So we were a real nation once, and we could be again.
I
Uh,
say this often, but I really do think that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. will be the last non-sitcom network television show that I'll ever truly love. I can't imagine falling in love with a network TV show this much again because they don't give us the room to. And
no,
the ones that do run are like all procedurals, and that's not really my jam.
yeah.
So just pouring one out for classic television. Ben, it was great having you. Thank you so much. I'm so glad we got to, because for a little context, listeners, Ben and I work at the same websites, but we only like recently connected. And the first thing I was like, "Are you a Shield fan?" 'Cause I'm just like collecting them like pogs. Like, come be on my
Like
podcast.
hogs, but
So,
also
yeah. We're also we bonded over Grease too. I know I have in my calendar somewhere Grease with Ben. I don't remember if you remember the context, but I know it's in my
it was a
calendar.
burlesque show.
Oh yeah, we're gonna do that. That's awesome. Amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you to everyone in the comments. It was fun to see people who normally aren't here. Maybe we'll consider mixing up the times in the future, but I'll be honest, 10 a.m. for me is not my best. I'm not working at my best brain capacity. Ben and I think need to go take a nap. Thank you, Maria. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for listening. Keep an eye out on Instagram for our finale date, and reminder to join our Patreon. Goodbye.
Thanks, everybody.